live now. All right, so welcome everybody. This is BlastCast EP3 with my good friend DJ SLAVA.
Hello.
Boom.
Good
All
day or evening or whatever.
Yep,
Thanks for
exactly.
having me.
Good time of the day. All right, Slava, why don't you tell us what do you do and introduce yourself.
So I'm Slava from Amsterdam, originally from Ukraine. Uh, but I lived in the Netherlands most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Started playing piano at like 10, and then I realized that I have some kind of predisposition for it. So did conservatory, got
Mm-hmm.
my master's, but quickly I like realized this wasn't really my cup of tea. You know, the classical lifestyle,
Yeah.
being so serious about everyday practice and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of it. So right after that, I started to explore other stuff. I started a YouTube channel, or actually, I was already working on a YouTube channel with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
Igor Presnyakov, and
Oh, nice.
we have now we're nearly on 2.5 million subs for a guitar channel. I think that's pretty good, but
Yeah.
YouTube is another world. So I started doing that and started my own company doing like audiovisual productions, photography, video clips, recording. So getting more into the audiovisual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was already introduced to electronic music in 2011. Before that, I really didn't know. I mean, I knew some about it, but not so seriously like the friends that introduced me to it.
Mm-hmm.
This thing psytrance really like shook my mind, and I was just so captivated by the sheer complexity of this electronic dance music, because
Mm-hmm.
most of the dance music was, you know, quite simple.
Yeah.
if we may put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I realized that I actually wanted to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 years ago, and now I've been doing this project, and since 1 year going more into film music, because there's some things in dance music you can't really go much deeper in in a certain sense. So now I'm to film music, and really exploring that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the story in short.
Well, exciting stuff. So, what conservatory did you go to?
In Amsterdam,
In
did
Amsterdam.
my bachelor's and master's there, but I did start at when I was 12 in the young talent department in Rotterdam, and I actually just entered there because my teacher Mila Baslavskaya was there, whom I respect dearly till today, and she was also Russian, and
Yeah.
she's like a second mom for me finally.
That's good. That's
Growing
good.
up, because I grew up in a Russian kind of traditional family, not very traditional, but
Mm-hmm.
so it was nice having more of that culture around.
Yeah, it's always helps when, especially when you're in a different country. Same thing for me. Like
Yeah.
when I moved to US, like I had a couple of really good like Russian, older friends that like helped me, become who I am right now. So it's always nice to have like somebody from your old country.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we have that in common. It's just nice.
I know.
So
So
yeah.
so let me ask you something. So okay, so your father has a YouTube channel, right? So he does what,
Yes.
like a guitar production, like what
Yeah,
is it?
well, he is mainly it's this style which
Mm-hmm.
became really popular in the last couple like 10 years. It's
Mm-hmm.
called fingerstyle guitar, and it's a term of kind of arranging any song to
Mm-hmm.
guitar. So it can be a full band, and you just play like all kinds of parts on one guitar at the same time, and it sounds really complex and like
Mm-hmm.
full.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
cool.
just a guitar,
Yeah.
kind of track. Like it's very complex, and it's great to listen to, because it
Mm-hmm.
sound any kind of song can sound really differently, but in a nice way. I mean, when you have all kind of arrangements and transcriptions, for
Mm-hmm.
example, for orchestra or vice versa, from orchestra to
Mm-hmm.
electronic, or it gives a very nice touch to the song in a new sense, like a new light is shining on it,
Oh
if
yeah,
you will.
definitely,
So
definitely.
that's what mostly he's doing. Sometimes I play and sing and
Mm-hmm.
play a little bit of cajon and like piano, obviously, but
Yeah.
just doing the production and taking care of the channel, like
Mm-hmm.
the boring stuff.
So basically, he does the guitar work, and you do all the production and behind the scenes.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know you did that. That's actually fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I have this, because it's great working with your family. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's never easy. But it's great, like that you're both working towards the same goal. Just
Mm-hmm.
you always want the best for your family, so you're never going to make any weird decisions or whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
good. That's good.
I'm really happy about that, and it's definitely not easy, and especially because he's mainly a cover artist,
Mm-hmm.
so copyright
Yeah,
issues.
copyright issues. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, I got in trouble for copyright issues with copywriting my own music. I told you, right? It's
You
so
told me,
funny, dude.
tell
It's
me
like
what happened exactly.
so. I was gonna like I was doing some live stream on Twitch. I was doing I was basically like recreating one of my own tracks that I have on Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube Music. And then I upload the stream to the whole stream to YouTube. Then it gets like copy strike. I don't know by who, but like it says that it's by some kind of like music, whatever, Latin music or whatever, like all of those like labels,
Latin author, I got it. I know exactly who they are. Yeah,
and then I try to like talk to somebody on YouTube, and I'm like trying to like find a button to talk to support, but there is no button since I'm not a partner on YouTube. I'm like, God damn. And then it says like that I'm not allowed to post videos for like 45 days. So I think in 2 days that's when I'm gonna be able to post videos. But it's so weird. It's so
you couldn't dispute it.
Nope, there's no button to dispute it. Nothing. And then I googled
what
the
got
shit
recognized? It was your own song got actually recognized on Spotify.
It was my own song that got recognized, and then also
which
there was like another
service
song
did you use to put it on Spotify?
Oh, I have a DistroKid.
Yeah, so yeah. I know that some services, they also do this content ID system. So actually, in another sense, it's doing its work correctly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
but the fact that it's an automated process in your case, but the fact that you couldn't dispute it was weird.
Yeah. Well, from now on, because I contacted DistroKid, and what they told me is like next time I upload a video, I have to send them the link first, and then upload. Make a video private for like a couple days, send them the link, and then make it public. So that's how it's gonna work. And but they're like, well, we can't do anything. Like it's like YouTube is YouTube, But I mean it's it's a fun little thing to experience, I guess.
I wouldn't call it fun, but because if you're dealing with it on a daily basis, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be all right. I mean, as long as like the channel is not taken down, as long as I'm not blocked from YouTube forever.
Yeah.
And I've heard that one of my friends, actually, a composer, what he did, he was telling me a story. So basically, he worked on this short film. Yeah. And, he submitted his soundtrack album to all these services with the content ID and stuff like that, right? And then the short film got posted to YouTube, because it's a short film. Yeah. Like, where else are you going to put it? Like Vimeo and YouTube, right? There's nowhere else to. And then apparently, I think he was with TuneCore or Bandcamp, like one of those two. So they basically copy strike the video, like the film. And then the film production company was trying to sue the composer because he like did it without letting them know.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they thought that he's trying to take all the profits from.
Oh come on!
And they only had like, I watched the film, right? Like I watched it maybe a year after this whole thing happened. They only had like 2,000 views, which is nothing.
Oh my! And they
but they
sued
went to,
him for this.
dude. Yeah, they went to like a small what do you call it, claim courts, and they're
You
trying
know,
to
but
sue the guy.
this is
Yeah.
America, right?
It's America. Yeah, it is
This would
America.
not happen in Europe. Long shot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think Europe is the other extreme, or maybe the rest of the world versus America. Like America, you can sue anyone for anything
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
In the rest of the world, it's like very hard to get a trial, and you have to pay a lot of money to sue
Yeah.
someone, and it's like where people are hesitant to do this. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a different approach to this topic, I
Yeah,
think,
it is a different approach. Yeah, in
entirely.
America, it's kind of weird. Everybody's suing each other for like nothing, because it's so easy to go to the small claims court. I mean, it's just you just
Yeah,
start it up and that's it. You're
yeah,
done.
it's a business model, land of the
Yeah.
free.
Yep.
It's just pure business.
Exactly. It's the capitalism at its finest. Okay, talking about
Yeah.
capitalism, how are things going with your music and your career during the pandemic? Like, did anything change at all?
Actually, not much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always in the studio,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I
that doesn't
figured.
even matter. Like I was having some gigs abroad in the Netherlands. The psytrance scene is quite weak, I
Mm-hmm.
can say. But yeah, I was having some gigs in Europe, and there's something for Brazil planned, which was pity that it didn't happen because it was a
Mm-hmm.
big festival called Progressive in Curitiba, and
Oh.
it's yeah, it's everyone is suffering, but I didn't like feel like I stopped in any way, like creatively. I
Mm-hmm.
actually maybe was even more inclined to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people are gonna be, you know, sitting on their asses on the couch, I'm gonna make two steps ahead of
Yep.
everyone,
Exactly.
making use of this time.
Yeah, yeah.
When everybody's slowing life down a little bit, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
steaming ahead, working towards whatever I'm working
Yep.
on.
That's the good approach to it. Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I'd say not much, and of course, yeah, mentally and physically, yeah, like mentally it's tough. Also, if speaking about love, that
Mm-hmm.
I announced, like it's important. It's an important part of our lives, and I
Yep.
haven't seen personally my girlfriend in 5 months,
Oh
and she is
wow.
living in Russia, which was tough. And we have been like planning like many trips, which
Uh
got
huh.
canceled like one and after another.
Oh.
And she was supposed to come this weekend
Mm-hmm.
with me to Switzerland. I actually have a gig, believe
Yeah.
it or not. I
Really.
have and yeah, it's an open air festival, which actually was public, but
Uh huh.
they made it private,
Mm-hmm.
because then it's like if you have max 100 people, then there's no problem in doing this. So it's like a small event outdoors for friends.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, very cute, in the Swiss mountains. It's
Yeah,
in the
that's
border of
awesome.
Germany and Swiss. Super beautiful. So looking forward to that and
Mm-hmm.
meeting some friends and making music. So
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, it's good that it's allowed now. I mean,
well, just in Switzerland
just in
looks like. In
Switzerland.
the rest
Okay.
of Europe, they're not so eager, because if you've been following the graphs a little bit, I mean,
Yeah, I see the
I live in,
spikes.
I live in
Yeah.
yeah, I live in my cave here, but
Mm-hmm.
I do follow the like some things that I think are important. And in the Netherlands too, the thing is going up again. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everybody's getting weary. The minister announced last night that no more barbecues and parties in
Oh,
your
really?
house allowed, more than 6 people. Like
Oh
the
yeah, they just did the
something
same
like
thing
that.
here. Cause like in LA, what's been happening here? It's funny. Like there's been a lot of house parties that hold like concerts and stuff like right now. And like I've been invited to a couple, but I'm like I don't know. I'm kind of I didn't go because I'm like a little too afraid because those kind of parties there's always some craziness happening. And
Yeah.
and yeah, and apparently there was this one house in Beverly Hills where my friend went to, and what happened was there was like 300 people in a 3-bedroom house. It's not a big house, but 300 people in there.
I wouldn't like to be there.
Yeah,
no.
and four bands were playing.
Wow.
And then the cops showed up. The house owner got like fined for I don't know how much, but yeah, it was like oof. Everybody got like tickets over there.
Yeah, because honestly, nobody really cares about nobody's keeping distance. Like there's been some outdoor events here in the parks.
Yeah.
For 100 people as well. Actually, I was at one in Amsterdam, or several like small events, not official events. And it's very funny. Like whenever the police or whoever is watching comes, everybody's like taking care and moving apart, and then as soon as the police leaves, everybody just goes again to whatever they were doing, like nothing happened. And it's like it's so weird. It's such a I don't know, it feels surreal really to be living this.
I know
today.
it's very interesting. This year, like 2020, has been a very interesting year so far.
Yeah, in many ways. And it's I hope that honestly, for everyone's sake, we can get some kind of end in sight. In just health. You can't buy health.
Yeah, exactly.
People are so taking it for granted. Like I never took it for granted because I always had some kind of health like problems with my back, and this was actually, I mean, since I went to study in the conservatory, like not many people talk about this, but a lot of musicians, they have serious physical problems.
Yep, exactly.
Because they practice so many hours on their instruments in unnatural poses. And you would think at a piano, like, it's so how do you say it, equal, like no, like it's, you don't have to be like this or holding a flute or but no, you're like all the time going a little bit to the right,
because your neck is also like always at the same position too. Like that's like my problem, because I work, I can work for like 16 hours in front of the computer, like doing stuff, right?
That's
and then
not good, man. That's not good.
Well,
you need to take breaks.
I take breaks like every like 3 to 4 hours just to stand up.
No way. That's way too. That's I have a little timer here in my Stream Deck. Like I got this Elgato thing. 20 minutes, man. Every 20 minutes you'd go and take just a walk, drink some water, make a round. And for me, at least, this is the only way for me to not start to have pain again. Like I have all kind of, I'll spare you the details, but just coming back to the fact that people take it for granted. Don't take your health for granted, You need a good diet. You need to have good exercise. Even working in the studio, like I'm just a bit on the, like, I'm not a common case. Like I know that I have more problems than most people, but the point being, like, you need to take care of your body in order for it to function well, depending on what kind of work you do or life you have. You have to think about this, obviously.
How do you have your piano? Is it like it's on like a table?
Which
is it like
one?
on a separate thing? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
This one, actually, I just changed it. I had a slide out thing on my desk, and my desk is actually height adjustable.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do this now, but I take, like, for the timer, every 20 minutes I stand for 20 minutes, and then I sit for 20 minutes. And this really literally saved my ass. if we're gonna say it like that, it's been a lifesaver, because the problem that I have with my body is that I need to be in a dynamic, like I can't be static for too long. So sitting all the time in one position behind the piano was killing me. The same, like sitting behind a computer, it's killing me if I do this for too long. I just need to go take a walk, take a round, like do some sit-ups, do some push-ups, do some whatever, like just to change position in order for me to not get the problems that I get after, like, sitting too long in one position and forgetting about it, or like you need the timer, It's so simple and effective, really.
Yeah, maybe I should start doing that too. I mean, I have like a little thing. Let me see if I can. No, I don't think I can show it. Let me see. You see this thing?
Yeah.
It's like a little
Yes.
back thing support for my chair. Like that like changed my whole thing. Like my
That's
whole.
important too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chair is so
Yeah.
important. The height, like, and
Mm-hmm.
so the desk I had was like a thing that I built, like on, I'm a bit impressed, like how much the desks are going for that are being sold, like
Oh,
prefabricated,
it's
like
crazy, dude. Like
two
three
thousand
thousand. Yeah.
dollars. I'm like, dude, this
Yeah.
whole setup cost me like 400 euros
Yep.
with everything, the table and and everything. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you can build, I don't know, something with wood, you can do it yourself, right?
Yeah,
So
it's so easy. It's just.
the only
Yeah.
problem with that was
Mm-hmm.
that, when you play,
Yeah.
it was moving the whole desk and the monitors and everything.
Oh.
And yeah, so now today I put it under some wheels that I can
Okay.
just pull it out of the, like, on a stand.
Oh,
um
that's nice. Yeah.
yeah, so it's moving now on the stand a little bit, but at least
Mm-hmm.
now the cameras are not moving when I'm playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like since I have the camera is on the same desk with the piano. Let me
Yeah,
see. It's like I have the same thing. It's like I have a thing that basically the camera moves a little, and then also there is this feedback that's coming into the microphone because like the boom is like connected to the
I
same desk.
see.
So every time I
Yeah,
press the button,
I hear it.
it's like
Yeah,
you hear it, right? It's like this like bassy like woof woof woof
yeah,
noise.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the thing that I'm trying to get rid of. So I'm thinking maybe I can move the mic like to like this other standalone thing, and then
Yeah, I
fix
do.
it.
I do notice now a little crackle now and then in your mic as well when you're
Oh really?
talking. Yeah, thinking maybe it's the cable. Um,
It could be the cable. It could be like the volume too. Let me see. Here,
okay, just
how
check
about
it.
how about
Actually,
this?
now that I think of it, I think I was hearing it all the time. I
Oh
just
really?
forgot
Like a
to
little
mention
crackle.
it. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, it's like nothing serious.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right?
No, no,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm listening to it through. So, so I have this question for you, right? So I have two computers set up. So
Yeah,
one computer is a slave computer with all server computer, right, with all
yeah,
my
you told me.
contact, and then a second one is the main computer. Like, what's your setup? Like, how many computers do you have?
I have one computer, and I
Okay.
actually went deeper into this topic after we spoke for the
Mm-hmm.
first time. And
Yeah.
I really, then there was, I was watching a lot of videos, and that you do this setup with Vienna Ensemble
Mm-hmm.
Pro. Like, it's a pain in the ass setting it up. I'm like really no the big fan of doing all this stuff. So I found another guy showing like how to make a proper template in Cubase.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently got Cubase, so I'm discovering that as well.
All right.
Really,
Cubase
yeah,
gang.
it's yeah, and definitely Cubase is, you can do everything with it,
Mm-hmm.
even electronic music. I mean, almost all the sidetrans producers are using Cubase. I just started with Ableton, and for me it's kind of hard to make the switch for that kind of stuff because I'm so used to certain things that Ableton has. And like,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously I'm just, for now maybe I'll keep using Ableton just for the dance stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely for everything else, Cubase is killer. You know,
I know it is
it's
a killer.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
so incredible. So I've been working on my orchestral template or whatever, like my big ass template where everything is, and then I realized that you can like disable tracks and save a shitload of memory.
Yep.
Honestly, my old computer,
Mm-hmm.
it's like 7 years old. It's a 4770 i7, like 4 gigahertz, then 32 gigs of
Okay.
RAM,
Yeah.
and a simple video card, and
Mm-hmm.
like a couple of SSDs, and it's working fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially after I found out that with Contact you can do purge,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
purge all the samples that you're not using. I mean,
Yep.
32 gigs is a lot, honestly, if you do that all properly or
Yeah.
disable tracks in Cubase.
Yeah, yeah.
In Ableton, it was, I entered this, actually another topic, maybe it's funny to talk now,
Uh-huh.
retrospectively, the Westworld competition, right?
Oh, that stuff, yeah.
But that was,
Oof, all the
I,
memes from that thing. Oh my god, it's
oh
so
man.
good. It's
So
so
just
good.
that aside, I entered this competition, and it was like a first kind of trial for me to work with proper footage and just to see what comes out of it as a experience and experiment. And I used Ableton for this, and Ableton doesn't even have like time codes for the video file, so it was a pain in the ass to get everything like, with the changing of the tempo and like with the frame. So somehow I managed, but I was using 32 gigs of RAM, like maximus, and it was almost not managing it. I'm sure that if I would have done the same project in Cubase,
you could have,
would be chill,
easy.
So I'm like thinking, if I get a upgrade or a new PC, maybe I'll think about this two PC setup. But for now, I think you can get pretty far using just one computer, and you really be smart about how you use your template,
Yeah, it's you don't have to have like a big expensive computer to do the work. I mean, anything works. I guess in my case, it's just I don't know. I kind of I have this like attitude of like, I have a big ass template just because I can.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I mean,
so it's like
that's it's ease of use, and you have everything ready to fire when you want. But I think that there's another side to this. If you can use everything, you can get stuck like,
exactly.
What should I use? Because you have too many options, Maybe it's better to give yourself some restrictions, and then you can maybe one time step out of this box or whatever that you did.
Yeah, that was my problem when I made this template. Well, it's been like 2 to 3 years already since I had the big ass template. Like the first couple months, I remember I had a gig. I was working on a feature film called Paparazzi. It's like I think it was Universal Voltage, and but anyway, I was working on it, and the film was basically, they needed like this simple like orchestral score with nothing crazy, no hybrid stuff. And my template, like half of my template is all hybrid stuff. It's like it's all the synths and stuff like that. So and then and even like the orchestral things, like I have so many libraries in here that I remember like I was in such a what's the word, like stupor, like I was just so like confused of what instruments do I need to use, like what you have so many choices. So it's like, but then right now I'm kind of used to it. So like even though I have a big template, I know exactly where everything is. So for me, I just scroll through and I like, okay, this, and it's like once you get used to it, it's like it gets better. Like the workflow is actually like better now.
I imagine. Where did we stop?
What were we talking? Oh yeah, the Westworld competition. Okay, so did you? Okay, so about that Westworld competition. Well, I didn't enter because I was working on something. What was I working on? I don't remember. But like I had a lot of friends. Well, including you, obviously, that entered.
I mean, Jesus, 20, how many? 11,000 people, or whatever, was something like that. It's
and then
insane.
They chose this like 8-bit thing.
Yeah, but it actually, people could have, so many things to say about it. Yeah. But in short, they never intended to watch everyone's entry,
Obviously, yeah, but it's also like honestly, okay, so I have the unpopular opinion.
Which
is that I listened to the track, the winner track.
To the winner.
Yeah, like a few times, and I kind of like how special it is. How it's like very out of the box.
Me too. I like the parts. I mean, you can hear as a good producer just by the beginning. There's like some string sections, like it's like fragment, but
nicely mixed. I mean, it's good stuff.
Even the second or third place, like I think it would be more satisfactory, but to give him like a second or third place, maybe it's not even about that, but just the fact that so many people entered, really did their best for it, and then there were definitely contenders or contestants that made great, amazing music for this scene, even though it's just an action scene, it's nothing special. And what else? The original in itself, I mean, it's my opinion, but I didn't like it at all how they used this excerpt from what was the composer again?
Well, it's Flight of the Valkyrie, right? That's what they use.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I thought that was totally out of place. But yeah, that's my opinion. And I try to make this hybrid,
Yeah.
classical electronic hybrid with
Mm-hmm.
psytrance influence, because I
Yep.
really honestly believe it's not used enough in film and TV series, and it has so much energy and load and story, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
driven music, and it can be used. Obviously you can adapt it a bit, not for the dance floor but for
Yeah. Yeah.
listening more, which I did, and
Yeah.
I think it turned out really great. And I mean, it was for my first try. I think I did pretty well, if I can be very honest and critical about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just, I really felt that I was missing this in just making electronic music. I made different kinds, different BPMs over the
Mm-hmm.
last 4 years, not just psytrance, but yeah, this just kept me interested the most. And now really I watch those master classes
Mm-hmm.
from Danny Elfman and from Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah, because they talk
Yeah,
about like the real stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
I really loved how they were just so honest about also the difficult moments, and that actually this life is not for everyone.
Oh
But
yeah, it's a
the
hard
more I
little
heard
choice.
about
Yeah.
that, the more I was confident that
Mm-hmm.
I was the type of person that is that crazy to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's so
So
many people think that like being a composer is like such a easy little job, but like,
well, I don't think easy, but
yeah,
I think they don't realize the complexity of it.
yeah. But even like the
Even
people,
electronic music,
hmm
even electronic music.
yeah, like even the people that work in like movie industries, like I have a lot of producers and directors that sometimes like they ask me to change a cue, like a 5 minute cue in like an hour, and I'm like, that's not gonna work, dude. It's like I have like 50 instruments playing in that cue, so I have to change every tempo, like every like little thing. So it's not gonna,
Yeah.
1 hour is like not enough to do 5 minutes. Like it takes me a full day of work to do 5 minutes
I know,
of orchestral
but
action.
this is
Yeah.
because they have no idea.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
they just don't understand how difficult it is.
They think that we just punch in some kind of formula,
I know, right?
and
Yeah.
then bam,
And bam,
and it
it's
does
ready.
all the magic itself. Like,
I mean,
you know?
it's still faster, to do it these days because you have all these libraries. Before it used to be like okay, you have to write it on a paper, then go take it to the orchestrator, take it to the orchestra, record it.
That's how Danny Elfman was telling it. I mean, the process was so different.
Yeah.
Back then, and yeah, it's like so much has changed due to technology, and I love it.
I love it too. I mean, this is a great age to be a composer or like music producer. Because it's like it's so available to everybody, and it's I mean, yeah, it is kind of expensive, but it's available.
Sometimes, yeah, I mean, sometimes I regret I didn't start digging into this earlier, but honestly, I think I caught up pretty quick in these 4 years, because I was working really intensely on it, and I wanted to catch up with everything that I missed, like on a producer level, technically. Like musically, it's a journey. Obviously, it never ends. But the technical aspect for me was very important. And psytrance is a very complex music. I think it's the most complex electronic music now. Maybe drum and bass, or what's the other? Anyway, it's very complex. It's hard to mix. So you need to have a really good ear and experience to do this. And obviously I had the ear from my analog past, which is totally different. When I came into electronic music, a whole new world opened to me, the physical world, like feeling the sub. I never felt a sub like that in my life. Like, I didn't realize it was a physical sensation. It was a pressure, on your ears or on your body.
Yeah.
And just my whole perception of music and sound changed and enriched my experience of it, which was very necessary, because I was not having the full experience, I believe, with just classical music only.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like too. When I remember when I started, working on films, I had no idea. Well, okay, so I had some idea of how to write music, right? So I was
Yeah.
okay with it. Like I wasn't good at it at all, but I was okay. Like it got me some jobs. But then like mixing and mastering, oh my god, that took me like years and years to get somewhat okay. Like I
Yeah.
still feel like I'm not good enough. And it's like it's always, because there's always like competition basically, especially like since I'm doing a lot of trailer music these days. Like
Yeah.
I'm competing with like the top of the top of the top
Of
producers.
course,
And when I
it's the
listen to their
genre.
tracks, I'm like, holy crap! Like I'm like 15 steps behind them. So I have to like, stay up all night, like learn how to master properly. Let's see how to widen the bass, and it's like, ugh, so much stuff
Yeah,
going to
I
it.
mean, this is part of the process, and
Yeah.
especially if you're self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and me are the same in that aspect.
Yeah.
I never took any courses because I really want to learn. I mean, it would be way faster if someone would show me a lot of things that I want to know,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the whole thing, right? Like, I think part of the process, it's actually good for you to discover it by yourself,
Yeah.
finding things out, because you will start to understand it in your own
Mm-hmm.
way, and probably maybe better than someone
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
would explain to you, maybe in
Yeah.
a limited way,
Mm-hmm.
question everything, try to find out like the depths and cores, and really do a lot of comparing. It's
Mm-hmm.
all the time with especially about mixing and mastering. What you're doing is all the time referencing.
Mm-hmm.
You take the best quality tracks,
Yep.
and you just compare what's missing in your mix, or what could be better. The same for the mix, the same for the master, but obviously you need to have this base knowledge, what all these plugins do, and
Yeah.
also to have some kind of reference in your mind as well, like the stereo field.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about all that stuff. I just heard music and sounds and like
Yep.
live instruments. Okay, I grew up with pop music and
Mm-hmm.
jazz and world music from my dad, but
Mm-hmm.
electronic is a different thing. It's a total
Mm-hmm.
different world. And then you have this hybrid where you have to mix and analog and synthesizers, which is
Mm-hmm.
complex because you have all this overtones, and like is loading up very quickly. If you don't make the mix properly, it's gonna sound overloaded very quickly.
Oh yeah.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always
This
easy
comes
to over compress things, and yeah.
Yeah, this comes with experience, really. You
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to.
exactly. Yeah. You just have to train your ears and like put in a lot of hours. It's like that's the thing that
Yes.
sometimes I get people ask me like on YouTube or on Instagram. They're like, "Hey, I want to become a composer, how can I get my first gig?" And I'm like, "Well, before you get your first gig, why don't you practice, and then spend like I don't know, like 1,000 hours writing things, and then spend another 1,000 hours mixing and mastering those things, and then you can look for a gig, you know." I'm like, it's not
It's crazy
it's not
how
easy.
actually how high the real world threshold is,
It's
on
crazy
occasion,
high. Yeah.
because
Mhm.
there is this part in the electronic music scene that I think also happens in other scenes,
Mhm.
obviously, because connections.
Yep.
There's a big part of it is connections, and
Mhm.
being a friend of someone or making events yourself is helping a lot, because then there's this whole thing: you invite me, I invite you, and
Mhm.
this aspect, I mean, without it, some of the scene wouldn't even exist.
Mhm.
It's also important to have this kind of people, but on the other side, the amateurism is not helping the professionalism. It's
Mhm.
making people unaware to the fact that actually there's people who really do a bad job at performing or
Oh
making
yeah.
music,
Yep.
and a lot of people are not aware, or they don't care, or the threshold can be like that sometimes, that not the right people. I mean, I don't want to sound um like some people shouldn't do it, but on the other side, I think not everyone should be making music if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have the
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
it's
I agree
it's
with
it's
that
very
completely.
simple.
Yeah. It's just like say
So
it how it is. It's like if you don't have it, that specific like mind for it, maybe
yes,
you shouldn't really do because
do
there's a lot of
something
trash
else,
music
and
out
it's
there,
fine,
and
it's
it's
fine.
yeah.
But the point being that, like, yeah, there's a pretty high threshold. If you really want to be in the top, you have
Mm-hmm.
to be persevering, most of all. And man, I have had so many like recurring thoughts that I have to quit and do something else, like on a weekly basis,
Really?
and still I'm
Wow.
doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't stop for some reason, or I don't want to, because I know that if I don't do this, I'm gonna feel worse.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost, I'm dependent of music. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
drug for me,
Mm-hmm.
really. It's like my mind needs this kind of meditation moment
Mm-hmm.
on a daily basis, I guess. I mean, the more the better, but
Yeah. Yeah.
to really zone out and do what I love, and
Mm-hmm.
that's making music.
Yeah.
And that brings us to actually what's most important of all. You have to do something that you love,
Yeah. Exactly.
and do this. And I always try to, um whenever I meet new people, I always ask him the first thing, like, imagine you don't have to work, you wake up, you can do whatever you want. What are
Mm-hmm.
you going to do? What would you do if you don't have any obligations or financial problems? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is your passion? And a lot of people, they never thought about it, or they don't
Mm-hmm.
know, or they are doing something they don't like at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pity. I think this is the
Yeah.
most important
Yeah.
question you should be worrying about for your whole life,
Yeah.
doing something you love and being able to really lose yourself in it in a positive sense, like something you can develop. It's a skill or
Yeah.
a craft or something that you create, you put something out for other people to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This is
exactly,
important.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's my thinking. It's like even on my worst day, I'm still writing music. So it's like it's not a bad day.
Yeah,
So and I like my thinking was always like I always wanted to do music, and I want like I don't care if I make money with it. I don't care if I don't make money with it. As long as I'm doing it, I'm happy.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
seriously,
exactly.
I got lucky to get enough gigs to get rolling, but like it's just it's like it's my passion. It's like what I wanted to do all my life. So
And I think that that's the
yeah.
reason that it is happening. It's a matter of time
Mm-hmm.
for people that are doing it with passion. It's kind of a guarantee. If you keep going on
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
something long enough, you will find results
Mm-hmm.
or goals.
Yeah.
It really depends on how strong your willpower is to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're gonna face walls and smash your face and have very bad moments
Mm-hmm.
where you think like, why the hell am I doing this in the first place?
Yeah. Exactly.
And not once, it's gonna be a lot of them all the
Yeah.
time. And
I,
still you keep
yeah.
on going. So if you can't do this with something you don't love doing, it's
Mm-hmm.
impossible, or you would
Yeah.
be really out of your mind if you would do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like for me, like I can't even imagine myself doing anything else. To be honest, it's like
Same.
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like
as long as it's around art and something, with depth and
yeah.
something
Yeah. Yeah.
creative, I'm fine. But yeah, around music mostly, it's what I prefer doing, obviously.
Yeah. So do you have any like did you make any more demos for your film scoring, reel?
Um, not so much. I mean,
Mhm.
I have tons of unreleased tracks, and I'm finding the right places for them to release. I was like so worried about getting constant releases all the time, but I met another a great film composer in the Netherlands, and
Mhm.
he's actually a legend.
Mhm.
Um, who is he's called Geert Huining, and he
Okay.
was like working with Tiesto back in the days.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
he's a super super great guy, and like just working also for film, and like really doing what I would like to be doing right now. Also
Mhm.
working as a ghost producer. Like, I really want to make music. Most of all, I don't really like the traveling part of the DJ stuff, so I wouldn't
Mhm.
really necessarily call myself a DJ either, because I don't mix with CDJs. I
Mhm.
prepare a live set and I play on like whatever the Rolly,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
this little one. I either take one or two and then I connect them,
Mhm.
or I have a machine here. Like, it's something. It's nothing fancy, but if I can get a MIDI controller with keys, then I
Mhm.
can also play some,
Yeah.
stuff live. But it's all possible. It depends, like, on the situation. Do I feel like
Yeah.
doing it, or the festival, or yeah, stuff like that.
I mean, festival sounds like fun, right? It's always like
Yes,
good energy coming
definitely.
your way, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I love that part, but the traveling part I can't deal with. The sleeping bad part I can
Oh
deal
yeah.
with because my problems with my back and my neck are coming back very
Yeah. Yeah.
quickly if I am not resting well. It's a whole cycle, and I realized that actually what I love the most is making music,
Mm-hmm.
sit in my studio, and I'm fine with that. And maybe I can have a couple of gigs in the year, and that's fine for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'd love to make music for other people as well and go more into film, even like
Mm-hmm.
have some kind of projects just to have something. But I haven't worked on a reel, so maybe you can advise me, like, do I really need a reel, or can I
Uh,
present the
I,
music that
I
I
feel
already
like
have, like
you might need some sort of reel. Yeah. Like for me, what
like
happened? I mean, that's the thing is like I always try to, you know,
where do
compare
you
to
present
my
your
example.
reel itself? Like on SoundCloud, you have a website that you have this
Well,
available, or you're sending it around to people, or
so I have all of it. So I have a website. I have with all my reel and all my not all my credits, but some of them. Um, SoundCloud also, YouTube, IMDb.
yeah.
What else?
Do you
LinkedIn.
need IMDb?
Well, you get IMDb once you get credits. So once you work
Okay,
on a film, that's when you get it.
I see.
So I get I don't know, I get like 10 maybe credits right now. I don't have all of them because thing about IMDb, somebody else made a page for me
Yeah.
and I can't change it in any way. It's still okay, like it's my credits are there, but also like I can't add more credits. And sometimes like some production companies they just forget to add you, you know,
Hmm.
because like some of them like especially independent production
But
companies they
why
only
can't you reach your that person
I
to
don't know who that is.
okay. You
It's like
cannot
it's
make your
weird.
own page?
Well, if I make my own page, all the credits from that page are not gonna transfer to the new page. You know, see what I'm
I
saying? So it's gonna
see.
be like a brand new page because I already have a Tim Blast page there. So it's like
I
if I
see.
make a new one, it's gonna be like Tim Blast 2. I don't want to be number 2. I want to be number. But
Yeah, I
I
get
tried.
it. I
I'm
get
I'm
it.
talking to IMDb right now. But anyway, yeah. So talking about the reel, I feel like you need some kind of like
How
maybe.
long should it be, and how many different pieces would
Okay.
it contain, you think?
I would say make like 5 2-minute tracks. One for thriller, one for drama, one for adventure, one for action, and one for like
Comedy or romance?
those don't matter. Everybody can do those.
Okay.
Because those are like not in big demand. Like those are
I
so
see. I see.
like especially like
Trailer.
trailer is different. It's like what do
Okay.
you call it? Because trailer music and film music are like completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
understand.
it's like it's I'm pursuing both at the same time, but it's like I was able to do it just because I already had a film career,
Yeah.
and I'm like okay, let's move to trailer and then continue both at the same time. But it's like it's trailer music world is oh my god, it's so much headache.
Okay. You don't recommend me doing that stuff.
Not right now. Do the film
Okay.
first and then trailer
Okay.
next,
And
because like
actually, I
it's
think I'll be fine with
yeah.
film and my other projects because
Uh
I'm
huh.
already with a lot of stuff
Yeah,
on
because
my head.
trailer music, oh my
So,
god, it's like so much
okay. So,
work.
action.
Uh huh.
What did you
Let's
say?
see. So action, thriller. So thriller,
Yeah.
suspense, horror, same thing.
Yeah.
Action, adventure.
Yeah.
Some quirky stuff, like kind of kids quirky stuff, maybe.
Okay.
Kind of like Disney style, and then also drama there.
Okay.
So yeah. So those five
Two
are
minute
the
tracks. Yeah.
yeah like 2-minute tracks, and make them like well from what I did like in like 2015 maybe 2014 when I was like still starting. I
Yeah.
did like this whole basically it was like a 7-minute track, but it
Yeah.
was like going from one genre to another, but it's like it was the same exact melody, but the
Another.
genres were changing.
Ah.
Yeah,
Very
I'll send you the
nice.
track. They sound shitty at all, but it's like
Good
that
for the arrangement. Like
yeah.
I can. That's a good one.
So and then I put him in a video with like some crappy visualization, behind it, and I was
And
sending
then
that
where
around
to who?
to basically directors, producers, whoever
But where
I.
did you get their contact
Oh
information?
well, that's where the tricky part comes. I I got my first gig without even having any background in orchestral music. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I worked on a feature film called Born Wild, and it was my friend William Shockley, who is an actor, producer, director. He was in RoboCop, Showgirls, like a lot of good movies.
Okay.
And he basically, well, he was like a friend of a friend, and we met at the party. And basically, I told him, well, I play guitar and I make metal music, and he's like, oh, cool. We are making this like really biker heavy like feature film. Would you like to contribute with a couple tracks? I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I did it. There was nothing. I mean, it was kind of like partially orchestral. I only did like 3 tracks for them or 4 tracks, and because I had that little credit from them, I was able to reach out to other directors. And through this guy, like I just asked him, like, hey, dude, like, I'm starting out. Could you like give me a couple emails from people that that are not too like they are not on top of the top, but like people that are also like starting out, like because he knew a bunch of people. And I just emailed, I made a reel and I just emailed it to all these like startup, independent directors. Yeah. And from there, it just kind of like started snowballing. So I guess it's like, it's all about getting, that's the thing is like, I don't know, since I got lucky, with getting my first gig, just like pretty much it was given to me. Like I wasn't asking for it at all.
Yeah.
And that was that's like my thing that I don't think I can really give you an advice of where to get the first gig, because honestly I have no idea. But I feel like once you have the reel, put it on your YouTube, like promote the hell out of it. And then what could also happen, there's a lot of directors are always searching for composers on Instagram. Like, and I had three short films this year that like they found me on Instagram and they're like, hey, Tim Blast, so you do soundtracks, right? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, so we have these short films. Like, this is the, you have like 1 week to make 25 minutes of music. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And, we just talk really quick, and it's kind of like, they just find you, and then they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna hire you. So once you have the reel, I think like the more exposure you put towards your reel, like the better chances you get for other people to see it. Yeah. But if you don't have anything, then nobody's gonna find you.
Do you think I can use the Westworld thing as an example?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just don't
Did you actually
use it.
see the video of my entry or not?
Oh yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah, I like it.
Oh yeah. What did you think of it?
I mean, I like it. Yeah, it's like hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like especially with these days, like the more hybrid you can get, the better. Yeah. Like what I find, I've been sending my like latest scores, like they're more hybrid to people, and like I even send some trailer tracks sometimes, because it's like, for example,
because trailer are almost always hybrid.
Yeah, it's always almost hybrid. It's just like, but I always say it like this is a trailer track, but it's just like shows my best like mix and mastering and hybrid material. Got it. Yeah. So but I always like include that so they know that I know the difference between film music and trailer music, because sometimes people are like, oh my god, this is like too much, because trailer music is so like loud and bombastic, like it's not gonna work for film most of the time.
No, I understand. It's just like only an action scene.
Yeah, only an action, but even an action scene is like it's too much, But usually, yeah, like you know, if you make a reel, that's gonna help you a lot. And then just just try to reach out to people. I don't know. Well, in Netherlands, to directors in Netherlands, just like Google a bunch of them. Try to find their LinkedIn information, their Instagrams, and just like spam them. You know, cold spam them. That's what I did.
Yeah, I know this from the electronic music scene, of course. But yeah, it's actually the long and hard route. Mm-hmm. If you meet someone that is doing it, then bam, it's all about connections, really.
Yeah, it's all about connections.
I realize this now.
Yeah. So it helps. Like for me, it helps to be in Los Angeles because everybody's here. Yeah. And sometimes I would go to. I met a lot of connections just by being outside.
I mean, I'm curious, how did it go that you met Brian Tyler and ended up in his house?
Well, that's a funny thing too.
Because I mean, he's famous and he's like, how did he get to know you? That you actually made a connection, like a friendship or whatever, like a meeting with him, because it doesn't happen every day, that you meet someone like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, I don't know if I told you. So I was in Starbucks.
Yes.
And then,
oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in
Told me.
Starbucks, and I met his what's his name, assistant first.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, well, his assistant came up to me, and he's like, "Oh, you have long hair. Like, what's up?" You know, it was like this weird conversation of, yeah. And then it's like, so I was just okay, cool. So you know, Tim Blast, whatever I do, film music. And like, oh, cool. I work with somebody who does film music. I'm like, who? He's like, it's this one guy. You know, he plays drums. I'm like, okay, well, who is it? And he didn't tell me. And we started talking.
Why didn't he want to say it right
Well,
away?
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's like they did. You know, when you're an assistant to somebody, you just don't want to. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Okay, well, he had his reasons.
Yeah. And then, it's just like through these little things, I just ended up going to, like, he invited me to the studio, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And I met, you know, Brian Tyler there. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I mean, we're not buddies, obviously. You know, we're not.
I understand, but just the fact
but
that
just
you
like
went to his house.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, to his studio, it's a big deal. He doesn't. I mean, I don't allow everyone in my house, just a random person in my house. I mean, I need to feel that I can trust this person, or we have some kind of same interest at least. You know.
Well, it was kind of like, I guess for like the bigger composers, since they always have so many people in there.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's more, you know, they're used to it. Like, for example, same thing. I went to Remote Control, which is it's like a group of studios. Hans Zimmer, Harry Gregson Williams.
Okay,
who else is in there? Ramin Djawadi, you know, the guy that done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they're all in this like complex, basically.
Where is this? In LA?
LA, yeah. It's in Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you where exactly it is after this.
Okay.
so people don't go.
I mean, yeah. So there's this hub and this place, and
so I went there because one of my friend, he was interning there.
I see.
You know, he was basically the intern. They let him like run coffee when they had like big meetings with directors and stuff like that. So you know, one day he said like, well, Hans Zimmer is not gonna be there, and Alan Meyerson was there, so I got to meet him like for a brief second. I don't know if he remembers me or not, but it's just kind of like, you just walk in, and there is a receptionist. You just talk to them. They're like, hey, you know, I just want to look around the studio, and they're like, okay, cool. This guy's a young composer. Let him be. And and it's just like, I guess in the professional, like the top of the top line, because they have so many assistants. You know, it's just they're so used to people, you know, being around.
Yeah.
And usually when they have this like creative stuff happening, like they're so used to just to block everybody behind them. And you know, I guess it's like, I mean, for me too, like I don't let everybody in my studio, but it's because two reasons, right? Like first, like I don't feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like my home studio is cool enough to to show it to everybody.
Well, what define cool, because the most important thing I actually think is what you produce, not how your studio is.
Well, I know, but it's like, it's in my head. It's
I
like,
got it.
Yeah. Especially, it's like, I mean, I have a lot of composer friends that come over, and they're like, oh shit, like you have this, and that. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, doesn't matter. But also, like, the second thing is, I guess, since I have a home studio, like it's still my home. Like I wouldn't just bring random people.
Me too, obviously,
but for them, they have like, you know, they have a studio, and then they have their home. Yeah. So I guess that's why. Studio. Yeah. And then the home studio.
So how do I mean, when you met Brian, there was a lot of other people as well.
Well, there was like just four or five other people. They were just like,
okay, so you say like you feel like they're able to work and block out everyone. It's I can't even imagine that, like having people all the time around me and then being able to do some creative stuff.
Well, it's like, you know, from what I've heard, same thing when I was talking to Bear McCreary, the guy that did Walking Dead and you know, all those Cloverfield films.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I talked to him for a brief second because I won this one competition that basically, you know, we had like this interview with him. He was interviewing me because I did like score for one of his films, but whatever. And we talked after that for a few seconds. And with him, he has 3 assistants, a bunch of interns. He has his little accountant like all the time. He has his orchestrator there all the time.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it's just like he said that it doesn't matter for him if there's somebody in the room. Like if he has a melody in his head, he can just like go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
I can't personally. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this down this light a little.
yeah, yeah.
So finally, I did stand because my ass is starting to get. But I don't want to stop the conversation because it's actually going really nicely.
Yeah, yeah.
So go on.
So I feel
Yeah.
like it's like once you get to, because for me too, honestly, like sometimes my girlfriend is in a house, and I don't care if she's walking around, like
Yeah.
I'm like in the zone. I'm in the zone. Or
No,
sometimes,
but a girlfriend, I think it's not the same as random people
Yeah.
working for your even assistants.
Mhm.
It's not the same.
But also one more thing is like since I've been doing the live streams when I'm when I'm making music on live stream, that actually
Yeah.
helps a lot because I know there's a lot of people watching me live.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that's what helped me overcome this little fear of somebody else being in a room or like somebody else watching you while you work. So I can I can like easily just go in a zone, but like stay in my usual self, like where I can actually look at the chat. I'm still writing music. I still have the melody in my head. I still know what I'm doing. Like I know what I'm gonna do next.
You obviously you get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it. I think. Yeah.
It's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just it feels for the first time it's gonna be always a bit more difficult.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember like when I started streaming, I think it was like a year ago. Well, the reason, it's also a funny story. Why did I even start streaming? So the company called Sound Iron?
No.
Okay, so they do a lot of sample libraries. They're pretty well known.
Okay.
And
Speaking of, did you actually make some yourself?
No, I want to.
What do you want to record?
9-string guitar.
Yeah, cool.
Because there's like, none of them.
What can I add to all these mega sample libraries out there that are like insane and also insane to produce? Like, Jesus, how do you even go about recording all that stuff?
Well, actually, my friend Nuno Malo, he's a composer. He did, well, he's not selling his libraries, but he made libraries for himself to use later. So he basically, every time he comes up with like an analog synth sound, he just puts it in the contact. Like, the way it works, I'm not that good at it, but like you basically need to play every note of the thing. You need to like put it in the thing. And it's pretty automatic. Like it goes like, okay, play like C0, and then just go all the way up to whatever, like C6.
Yes, but I'm speaking about sample libraries like, with nuance and articulation.
Yeah.
And 1,000 different
no, that's
samples for one note,
Yeah, that's where the programming comes in. And I mean, I've been looking into it. I do want to make one with the, with the 9-string since there is no 9 strings around.
Exactly. So that is interesting. But like as a pianist, I wouldn't even know. There's so many amazing piano libraries, so many amazing orchestra and drums and horn and like winds and whatever. Like there's so much already done.
Well,
like,
you could
you add yourself,
You know those libraries that are what do you call them? It's basically just like rhythm sections. So since you're doing psytrance, you can make some some cool like build your own psytrance track library. Those libraries, where they have like the
but they are also those. There are already so many of psytrance libraries, and I'm not that great in synthesis actually. This is my weak side. Just didn't choose to go so much in depth into it. More explore the other side of production.
Well, do you make your own analog sounds at all?
Like yes, obviously, but I only have a microKORG here from other analog synths, but usually it's gonna be some kind of drum with my mouth, like either effects or just vocals. Like I have some kind of other instruments, like random stuff here. Not that much, but I work mostly with software VSTs and plugs,
Yeah.
and because everything actually is already there. I'm not that big of a fan of all this analog tweaking. And
Mm-hmm.
for example, Diva, the VST.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I use Diva all
Man,
the
that
time.
thing
Yeah.
is amazing. That thing
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. You don't need an analog synth to do, and there's so many presets, and it's like
Oh
to
yeah.
do that
How about this?
manually, you're gonna be like hours.
Okay, so I have a friend. He has a company called Code Ultra Sounds, and he
Okay.
does presets for like Diva, Serum,
Yeah,
Massive. So
that's cool.
what about that? Like you could do something like that. You can make your own presets, and those sell pretty good. Like if you know
Presets, yeah, that's
yeah
true. Like maybe some sequences of
yeah.
melodies and
Mm-hmm.
arps and yeah, stuff like that. It could be, yeah.
Yeah. Like my friend, he made a thing. We actually, I was the composer that did the announcing on my live stream when his little
Okay.
product came out. It was a lot of fun. He came out with this product called Archeon, and it's like a bunch of presets for film scoring,
Yeah.
but it's in like Serum, and I think
Ah, cool.
yeah, it's mostly Serum. I don't know if they moved it to Massive to Diva too, but it's like it's really nice. It's like
I love
400
Serum as
presets.
well. It's like
Yeah.
my go-to um VST,
Mm-hmm.
definitely Diva, and then Massive
Do you have the
X.
Massive X, the new one? Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Wow. I was like, wow. Really very impressed with it as well.
Yeah.
I love also Dune 2.
Oh,
I
I've never heard of
Yeah, it's
those.
it's a it's a old school vintage also. It's like similar direction like Diva, but Diva
Mm-hmm.
is like even more elaborated, or like I like Diva more even for the sounds that it's like capable of making.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I have this one idea. You know what I miss in libraries these days? Like orchestral sounds, but like more like synthesized orchestral sounds.
okay, for
Like for
example.
example, okay, let's see. So for example, choir, right? So you have the regular
Yeah.
choir, which could be like whatever, like let me see. Oops. Right? That's
Yeah.
regular
Yeah, yeah.
female choir. But then you have like choir that's like processed.
I see, yeah.
It's like those kind of libraries that I really want more.
I see. So I would
You know?
process them and then make them as a sampler library,
Yep, exactly.
like a kind of tape idea.
Well, like tape or like more like evolution things, because like for example, this library, what happens is it's like a little crescendo, but it's a process crescendo. It's not a natural
Yeah.
crescendo, right? So it's like, well, I guess it's more of a swell.
Yeah.
Like those kind of libraries, I kind of want more because.
But there's very nice ones like that at Spitfire. They have like this processed
Yeah, they have
libraries with
the
for
evolutions.
atmospheres and stuff,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But those are different. Those are more like synths. I'm talking about like like a actual organic like orchestral
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
but with added processes. So like you don't need to change it off, change it up later. I think like those things will sell more, like out of the box
and
ready.
then put them into a preset or in Contact.
Yeah, in Contact. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I've been looking into it. To be honest, it's not too complicated. Like I feel like if I put like
What?
yeah.
Most of the times, everyone who makes the presets or Contact libraries, they do it from themselves.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they feel like something is missing for them, and then they sell them.
Yep.
Like
That's how a
Junkie
lot of
XL
things.
did
Yeah.
that with his with the
With
Wins. And
also with
and
his 300 drums. Like
the drums,
yeah.
exactly. And Hans Zimmer did that for many of his libraries. Like, yeah, it's some kind of niche that you need for yourself, that it's not there, and then you can decide always to sell it also.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm using some of the Junkie XLs, like some of his drums. It's like they're good.
Yeah, really amazing. Like the whole process of recording those things, like I saw the making of that, and also
Yep.
of the horns.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's insane. So much data to process, so
Yeah.
much programming to do, and like 3 full recording days, and the people were like dying. Their lips were like already not working anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that's
It's
a very boring thing for the musicians to do. You just play note
yes,
by note
terrible,
by note. It's just
terrible.
like just so me and you can just go like, just go
Beep.
like,
Exactly.
just do this, with a button, like.
Exactly.
Yep, that's yeah. Actually, there's a what company does this? Is it Spitfire? Oh no, Heavyosity. Heavyosity. There we go. They do those little hybrid things. Yeah, like that's a good company that does a lot of like orchestral things with hybrid. But I feel like there's not enough of those on the market.
Well, it's something to look into.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe we can do a library together. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan, and to split the load as well. Like we both can bring in our own, worlds essentially that we have built up until today.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like
maybe
a
we
plan.
can do like a 9-string guitar psytrance hybrid monster.
For sure. Like I think that it will be interesting actually to make some kind of analog bass because there's always a synthesizer bass that is used inside like a saw wave or like very simple. It's pretty simple actually, but they can go more complex with stereo and like whatever. But an actual plugged guitar bass is gonna sound interesting too. Not many people are actually using it like that, so
it
will be interesting. It will be kind of an analog psytrance / analog / digital, because the electric bass is analog but it's digital as well, kind of because of the power. But
because
you
it's
are playing
amplified,
strings, so the real hybrid.
Yeah, that's gonna be real hard. Well, I have a thing that's I got a new cello that's coming in soon. Hopefully.
Oh no way! You play cello as well.
I don't play cello, but I will be playing cello. Not yet.
But have you played any other bow or strings?
Yeah, I have a violin here. Let me show you.
Okay, can you play a fiddle?
I have this. I have
this electric.
Violin. It's electric violin. Yeah, it's a shitty one.
But can you play a little fiddle, or you won't hear it because it's electric?
Well, it's electric. It's I have to like.
It's gonna be very soft.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's not gonna be that good. But anyway, I mean, I'm trying to learn how to play this. To be honest, I'm not that good.
But dude, for that kind of stuff, you need a teacher. Being self-taught on violin, that's a task for you right there.
Well, I'm challenging it right now. If I don't manage it by the end of the year, I'll get a teacher.
If I see the likes of Jacob Collier and you as well, and Brian Tyler, multi-instrumentalists, I feel challenged myself to play more instruments, and I always wanted to learn drums, but I mean, I did play some drums a little bit all my life, but not like that. Like, I feel that there's a thing for me to explore, and maybe another string instrument. Like, I never really played guitar, funny enough.
I know, since your dad is a guitarist. Yeah.
Apart from a couple of chords, But I'm always up for a challenge.
Yeah.
The thing is, you already you're doing so much, so when do you find time to practice this stuff?
Oh, I'm such a nerd, It's like I have I play bass, guitar. I have drums, piano, obviously. I play a whistle. Here, let me show you a whistle.
Okay.
I kind of want to play a flute too, so I'm probably like gonna buy one soon, so like I can do.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear that, but not.
For some reason, it started muting it, but the first 2 notes I could hear. It was very strange.
Really? Let me see.
How's that? Yes.
Well,
now
it's
got it. But nice. It's a nice little flute, actually.
Yeah, it's a Celtic
It reminds
whistle.
me of the Shire.
Exactly, that's what it is. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I just like to buy things, and I like to practice a lot. So it's
I got this mouth harp. I'm sure you have one too.
Oh yeah, I have it somewhere.
I mean, I hate the fact that you have to put your teeth on it, but I love the sound that comes out of it. I got it as a gift from my girlfriend.
Yeah,
and like I love all this kind of weird thing, like also the didgeridoo, and like I have some mandolins that are like very weird stuff, random stuff. But I think that's part of the composer collection, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of things too. I mean, I'm not gonna go over the list. It's like way too much. But it's like it's like I don't know. My thing is like I like to learn a new instrument every year.
Wow.
Like this year is violin. Last year was the flute. The year before was the drums. The year before was something else. I don't remember.
And what kind of drum set do you have?
I have a Roland
electric.
Yeah, it's a electric. It's a Roland V. Let me see. What is it? V2000. So it's an electric one. So I have a MIDI cord that goes to my interface.
Wow, sweet.
So every time I play drums, I'm playing like with the samples, but it's like it's
nice.
It's like a live feed.
I have the Machine Micro for that.
Yeah.
Playing with my fingers instead of like, you know, like a drum. But yeah, pianists in essence are percussionists. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, piano is a percussion instrument.
Just very small distances, you know.
Yeah, for me, I just like, you know, since I play a lot of metal too, you know, like drums is like my like go-to exercise machine. It's just like it's so many things you do, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Cool.
Alrighty. Well, I think we might wrap it up, huh? It was a really nice conversation.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's have another one again sometime.
Hell yeah.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great chat.
Let's see. Let's talk about where people can find you. So you have a YouTube channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, funnily enough, my YouTube is different from all my other names, but it's just /SLAVA music.
Okay.
The thing, the all my others is /Psytrance SLAVA. So whatever, like Facebook,
so Instagram,
Instagram, SoundCloud, everything is like /Psytrance SLAVA.
Okay.
Just from YouTube, it's SLAVA music.
Okay.
So
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I will be putting this on YouTube once my YouTube channel is active again. Hopefully.
Sweet.
All
yeah.
Right, well,
good luck with that.
I know. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for coming over. You know, this was a really nice chat. I had a lot of fun. Yep.
We keep in touch and all the best.
Yep. You too, man. All right, everybody, blast out. Thank you for watching.
Adios.